Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for December 6th, 2013. This is your congested and sniffly meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, struggling through a cold and getting ready to forecast for a rather complicated winter storm development, especially Sunday night into Monday. But also, we're going to have to watch out for tonight into tomorrow morning over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania for snow accumulation. Currently, we have the Arctic cold front that is moving through the region. We're pretty much seeing our high temperatures for today and earlier this morning that were in the 50s to lower 60s. Those temperatures are rapidly falling along the coast as that cold front exits. In fact, colder temperatures are moving into eastern Pennsylvania at this time, with temperatures falling through the 40s and into the 30s over western Pennsylvania. And the rate that these temperatures fall, not only at the surface and at the mid levels, will be a key factor in the developments that we will see heading into later this evening and continuing on throughout this entire weekend as we deal with what could be potentially a very significant ice storm over much of eastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey and the Hudson Valley, even portions of northwestern Connecticut, as cold air gets trapped in our valleys and moist, warm air rides over that Arctic air to produce some rather treacherous weather conditions. Here's the latest radar from Intellicast. You can see we're seeing that cold front move through with some periods of rain. This is what I'm keeping an eye on for this evening. This plume of moisture associated with the subtropical jet stream is going to rapidly race towards the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area with a special focus, especially over eastern Pennsylvania. As that cold air bleeds in, there is a potential for this light to moderate snow that is currently over Arkansas and Missouri to lift into northeastern Pennsylvania to produce some moderate snowfall totals over northeastern Pennsylvania and lighter snowfall totals over southeastern Pennsylvania and south central Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, along the coast is going to be a threat for some of this rain to change over to snow at the very end, producing some snow showers and perhaps a dusting in some locations. On the radar, you can see clearly some very impressive lifting developing associated with this weak wave of low pressure that is part of the subtropical jet stream. So basically what we have here is the Arctic cold front moving through, that's with the polar jet, and then we have this subtropical disturbance kind of slowing the Arctic cold front down over the southeast, producing this wave of low pressure that will ride along the Arctic front off the New Jersey coast, producing periods of rain and snow over the region. And the latest model guidance from the Rapid Update model guidance here, is pretty impressive. And I'm going to put this in motion right now. Again, here we are right now with this plume of moisture and precipitation, and that cold air is going to be moving in. And as it's doing so this evening, that moderate, in some cases heavy, precipitation will be lifting up through northeastern Pennsylvania and will be capable of producing snowfall totals that could touch, perhaps even pass, 5 inches of snow over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania. And I can't stress enough how important this part of the forecast will be for the upcoming storm that will follow Sunday night into Monday. Remember, the more snow we can lay down with this new Arctic air mass starting to set in ahead of the next storm, the stronger our cold air damming influence will be, and thus the potential for ice. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And again, this feature right here, I'm going to be watching all day on the Penn State EWOL website. The current temperatures and where the state of our 850 millibar line will be moving forward. You can also watch that via the SPC website, which I'll do as well, and we'll be posting throughout the day. So here's what I'm pretty much expecting with this first wave of precipitation in winter-like environment. Basically, from tonight into tomorrow morning, this area, which is basically New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area, pretty much rain here. Could end as a few snow showers with a flurry here or there. Perhaps an accumulation of a trace to an inch on some grassy surfaces with a burst of light to moderate snow at the very end here. Again, not a big deal. It'll look nice late tonight if you're up, but it won't be a significant impact on travel conditions. further north and west, over northern Connecticut and back towards northwestern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania to the northwest of Philadelphia. There's a potential for 1 to 3 inches of snow, primarily around an inch on cold surfaces. Again, trying to account for that burst of moderate snow that's starting to show up on the model guidance here. This is going to be a mesoscale event, so we're going to have to keep an eye exactly where that burst sets up. But again, mostly an inch in these locations, could touch 3 inches in some isolated locations, and most of the snowfall will occur on cold surfaces with mostly wet roadways expected. Then we move further north and west towards Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Lebanon, Lancaster, York. These locations will have the best potential for accumulating snow. Having a range of 2 to 5 inches, most likely to see around 2 inches as you head south towards York and Lebanon, as right now it appears that the bulk of the heaviest precipitation will be to the north of these locations. However, as you head towards Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, this is where we could see snowfall totals exceeding 3 inches, possibly over 5 inches in some very isolated locations in northeastern Pennsylvania, as this wave of moderate snowfall moves through as temperatures continue to fall below freezing. Now, once that storm moves through, then we deal with our another storm. This storm out here with the subtropical jet stream is going to move towards the Gulf Coast and then lift up towards the Ohio River Valley. Meanwhile, our Arctic high pressure system will lock in over New England, forcing what's called cold air damming. And what that basically means is that cold air at the surface is locked in, especially over the interior, while warm, moist air is moving over that cold dome, producing snow, then sleet and freezing rain, and finally rain as the storm exits. Using the GFS model guidance as an illustration here, again, for this afternoon, temperatures are going to be falling throughout the day. Look for scattered showers on and off, followed by this evening with a period of rain and snow moving through. The best potential for some moderate snowfalls over northeastern Pennsylvania as temperatures fall through the 30s. Low temperatures by tomorrow morning will range from the mid to upper 20s over the interior and upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. For tomorrow afternoon, we start to dry out as that Arctic high pressure system takes hold. Look for temperatures to range from the mid to upper 30s over the interior and upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast, not really rising all that much. Sunday night's going to be a big deal here. This is where we're really going to see the whole storm potential here set up. Because at this point, notice all the dry air aloft here. This tells me that we're going to have skies clear out. So we're going to have a fresh snowpack over the interior, like let's say northeastern Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey. Even a minor snowpack in this type of situation is very important, and it is a detail that models don't always pick up. So you have perfect environment for radiational cooling. You have plenty of dry air, and you have a high pressure system locking in right over the interior, right over northeastern Pennsylvania. That will allow temperatures to plummet into the teens. How low? That is going to be the big question here. So if we have clear skies and temperatures crashing into the teens and into the mid to upper 20s along the coast, then you set up the environment for a low pressure system to ride up towards the Ohio River Valley. Now notice what we have here is a signature. The key aspect here in this forecast is this high pressure system that is basically forcing cold air down the coastal plain. There's going to be a significant ice potential over here, icing storm over northwestern Virginia, possibly even a few locations in North Carolina, extreme northern Carolina, but I think for the most part, northwestern Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and then as we move into Pennsylvania here, we're setting up the potential for a significant icing event with a lot of freezing rain here as this moisture moves up into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Now, one key factor here that we're really watching here is this low pressure system. Well, I think we can all agree this is not a strong low pressure system here that we have. So if you get this weak wave of low pressure starting to develop along the coast, that could enhance the northeasterly flow here and force colder air. And if we have a colder environment to start off with, you could see the potential here that's lining up and why this event needs to be nowcasted and watched very carefully. Again, along the coast, I-95 on east, this is a brief snow changing over to rain. However, as you move towards the interior, as you move to the west of the Delaware River, you're setting yourself up here for a significant ice storm, I think, in this type of environment. Eventually, everyone does go over to rain as temperatures rise into the upper 30s to lower 40s over the interior and mid to upper 40s along the coast. But by then, the damage is done. So once this storm exits, finally on Monday night into Tuesday morning with a few scattered snow showers, Arctic high pressure would take control for Tuesday afternoon on through Wednesday, with clear skies for the most part. Could be a few snow flurries here and there, and temperatures ranging from the mid to upper teens over the interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast for lows, and high temperatures generally in the lower to mid 30s as we move forward for Tuesday and Wednesday and even on Thursday. As far as the forecast here that I have in place, again, for this is all highly changeable. I want to make that very clear. We're dealing with a highly volatile situation here with this storm. However, I think I have pretty good handle on the forecast overall. For portions of southeastern New Jersey, Atlantic City, Cape May, could see a burst of snow here that quickly changing over to rain. I have accumulations of basically a trace to almost nothing. However, we're going to watch to see exactly where that burst of moderate snow sets up and where our temperature profiles will be on Sunday afternoon. That could support some accumulated snow based on some of the latest model guidance. But again, I think mostly a rain event in Atlantic City on south. In the light blue shade, which covers much of the metro areas from New York City down through southwestern New Jersey. Again, a burst of light to moderate snow at the very start of this event, changing quickly over to sleet and freezing rain and then rain. Could see 1 to 3 inches of snow. Most likely, most locations will be around an inch on grassy surfaces. And isolated up to a tenth of an inch ice. I think most locations will be around 5/100th of an inch. And then from there on, heavy rain. In the pink areas, north and western New York City, and even including the Philadelphia metropolitan area, that cold air is going to hold on just a little bit longer. So you're going to have snow mixing over to sleet and freezing rain until early Monday morning, let's say around 1 a.m. or 12:30 a.m., then changing over to rain. Most locations are around 2 inches of snow on grassy surfaces. Isolated amount to 4 inches, most likely, let's say, around northwestern New Jersey, like around Parsippany. And of course, the ice potential here of a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice. Again, I think that's mostly to the north and west of New York City. Philadelphia, we're going to be watching this very carefully to see those temperature profiles and see just how fast those temperatures retreat. If we're ending up with a colder environment overall on Sunday, this could be treacherous. The best news we could have in this situation is that Sunday morning we have some cloudy skies, which will allow temperatures to be warmer at the start, which would eliminate that ice potential, and then you just end up with snow to rain. In the purple areas, basically over northwestern New Jersey, northern Connecticut, back down towards Allentown, Reading, Lancaster, and York, snow will last a little bit longer, so with the sleet and freezing rain, obviously, until Monday morning. Eventually, you change over to rain, looking at 3 to 5 inches of snow, a quarter to a half an inch of ice, and another half an inch of rain. This right here, the ice potential, is what really has me concerned here, but I think they will eventually change to rain. Now, the area that might not change to rain until the very end will be northeastern Pennsylvania, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, back down towards Harrisburg, and as you head down towards west central Maryland. These areas will have some very cold air in place at the surface, and that cold air is going to be very slow to exit. I'm looking at snowfall totals of 4 to 6 inches of snow. Let's hope for that 6 inches of snow, because then that would at least reduce the ice threat, as that would mean that it would take longer for that snow to change over to sleet and freezing rain, thus limiting the amount of ice that could accumulate. Over a half an inch of ice will be possible in these locations. So we're dealing with a significant ice event in these locations as you head down towards portions of Maryland. And then it'll finally end as rain as temperatures finally rise above freezing. So we're dealing with a very treacherous situation Sunday afternoon through Monday morning. If you live along the coast, it's not going to be that big of a deal, to be honest with you. You get a burst of snow on Sunday afternoon and evening, changing over to rain. This event is clearly for the interior, and portions of northeastern Pennsylvania, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pottsville, Williamsport, Lewisburg, Harrisburg. These locations are in the threat, especially if we get a good moderate to heavy snowfall here tonight into tomorrow morning, for a prolonged period of freezing rain that could be a serious problem for these locations. Of course, I'll have constant updates on this scenario. Hopefully, I'll have data that points to a warmer solution and thus a reduction in this forecast, but so far I haven't seen that in any of the data. And of course, I'll update throughout the day and into the evening and throughout this entire event via live coverage and premium live coverage for all you premium members out there. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.